we will be celebrating our 4th anniversary, and we have a special AMA session with some of the greatest projects that have been working with us, and also my personal favorite as well. So it's a AMA titled Blockchain Beyond Boundaries, Innovations, Adoption, and Future of the Public Chain. And it's part of a celebration of the 4th anniversary of Coinstore. And I'm Caden, your host, and I'm the head of media for today's discussion. I'm the head of media for Coinstore, and also the host for today's discussion. And this afternoon, I'm excited to dive deep with some of the most groundbreaking achievement in the blockchain technology with some of the distinguished panel of experts. So joining us today, we have James, so Global Head of Business Development at Coinstore, Grimmers, CMO at AirDAO, and we do have Victor Mendes, Director of Business Development at Wallet in Telegram, and also Junie Hall. He'll be attending later on. And also, we did prepare quite amount of great questions that can be discussed between the projects as well. And just to let you guys know, we do have a trivia activity happening right now. So under the description, we do have a link for a Google form. So we have 4 questions to be answered. And then you will have a chance to share a 2,000 US dollars prize pool. All right, without further ado, I'll pass the floor to our moderator, James, to kick things off when it comes to today's discussion. James, the stage is yours.
Hey, thank you, Caden. So hi everyone, welcome to Coinstore's 4th anniversary special panel discussion. So basically, quick introduction. I'm James, the Global Head of Business Development at Coinstore, and I'm generally thrilled to be moderating today's session, Blockchain Beyond Boundaries, where we'll be speaking about innovations, adoptions, and the future of public chain. So this is a very special time for us, Coinstore, as we gear up for the 4th anniversary. That's going to be happening on December 12th. Over the last 4 years, we have grown together, building a vibrant community, over 9.5 million users, expanding to 13 regions globally. And in fact, this year, we took a very exciting step into the Korean futures market, where we'll be exploring, the APAC region and such. So additionally, we have launched the Coinstore Lab this year, an initiative to dedicate to supporting and incubating some of the most promising projects out there. All of this wouldn't have been possible without the help with our amazing team, and of course the support from all users and partners. So really thank you for being part of this journey. So as we celebrate how far we have come, it's also the perfect moment to look forward. Public blockchains are evolving rapidly. So from solving scalability issues to introducing groundbreaking consensus mechanism as well. They truly remain the backbone of the blockchain innovations. And today we are also lucky to have 3 trailblazing projects with us: AirDAO, Ton, and of course Casper. Each of these projects is making the waves in the blockchain space, and I'm so excited to dive into their stories. Okay, so before we start, I would love for panelists to actually introduce themselves. So, dear panelists, please tell us a little bit about who you are and what you make, and what does your project stand out in this dynamic ecosystem. So maybe we can start off with Michael Greenwood.
Sure, no problem. So first of all, Caden introduced us as industry experts, and it's probably not a title that I would give myself, actually. Sometimes I just describe myself as the head shiller of the AirDAO ecosystem. So my name's Michael Grimwood. I'm the CMO of AirDAO. I've been with the project more years than I can count, in many different roles, currently the CMO. Very high level intro to those who don't know who we are. We were formerly the Ambrosus ecosystem. We were the biggest ICO on Binance back in 2017, focusing on the supply chain industry and bringing adoption to that space. And in 2022, after many exciting and also tough years, we decided to pivot. What we were focusing on to become a DeFi ecosystem. So we are an EVM layer 1. We're still using the same technology that we were using back in 2017, 2018. But actually we've begun to build out, some of the typical infrastructure that you would see on a layer 1 in order to attract a mass of users and builders into the ecosystem. So the way that we want to set ourselves apart is, we're a big believer that if we're going to bring normies into the industry, we need to make it a super accessible, super easy to use with really great UI UX. So we are positioning ourselves in 2025 as the dark horse L1 of this bull cycle. So a lot of focus for us over the next couple of months will be we're going to aim to build a wallet that we believe will be one of the best and most easiest to use wallets on the market, to be supported by a token launchpad, effectively our own version of Pump.Fun. So that's me. Looking forward to the conversation. Coinstore are very similar to our company in many ways. We've really enjoyed working with them over the last 12 to 24 months.
Okay, thank you so much, Michael. Thank you so much for a good introduction. So moving on, we will be having Victor. Would it be Victor?
Hi, hello everyone. Thanks for the invitation. So Victor, been with Ton for a little more than 2 years now. Initially joined the blockchain space with a focus on the intersection of payments and Web3. On Ton, we've continued to develop on the trails of what Telegram has started back in 2017 as a highly scalable layer one, but completely open source. The ecosystem now is on a major moment. There's huge traction. We've onboarded more than 100 million unique users so far to our ecosystem, and our partnership with Telegram is really probably the biggest uniqueness of our ecosystem. So it's not just about the layer one as a technology, but it's the complete tech stack that comes with Telegram, such as the mini apps infra, Ton Connect, and of course the wallet in Telegram, which is a major component within our ecosystem. So for the ones who are not familiar, Telegram has a native crypto wallet built within. There's both a custodial and a non-custodial wallet within it, whereby users can choose on what suits its best. Yeah, so I guess that would be the quick intro about myself, not too overextended.
Thank you so much, Victor. Thank you so much. I mean, Ton has been one of the biggest trend this year as well. They pick up a lot of attention in terms of, the Web3 wallets and everything. So yeah, okay. Thank you so much, everyone. What an inspiring way to kick off. And let's get straight into the discussion with our first few topics. All right. So unfortunately, I believe from Caspar Network, June is not available to join it, but he will be joining us shortly as long as whatever issue is facing will be fixed off. All right. So I think we will be proceeding to our first question. For users out there, please stay tuned. There'll be rewards given as well. Okay, so please we can move forward to the first question. Okay, so I think when it comes into talking about blockchain technologies, innovations, and everything, a very common question will be layer 2 versus layer 1 dynamics. With the rise of layer 2 solutions, what do you see as the key difference in the value proposition between layer 1 and layer 2 ecosystem? Are layer 2 solutions competitors to layer 1s, or is there natural synergy between them? So if Victor, you want to start first, you can start first.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to jump in. I mean, I think it really depends on what perspective you're looking at this from. If I was a new builder looking to jump into the Web3 space, having the support system of a highly advanced L1 with an existing community, with existing infrastructure, that support system actually can be the difference between me being successful and not successful, because resources are finite and L1s tend to have most of those resources. I don't think we're ever going to have an L1, L2 competitive landscape, because one doesn't really exist without the other. I just think it really depends what the key focus points are for the user or a builder coming in. I think L2s have brought a huge amount of usage to the industry. Dare I say, L1s are just a little bit more slower and clunky, but actually, they are the foundation of blockchain itself.
Okay, thank you. So for Victor, would there be any kind of debates, or is there any rebuts towards this, or do you have your own point of view as well to share?
Right. I think just yeah, very in line with what Michael mentioned in terms of use cases. I think the important thing is really to understand what we aim to achieve as a developer using a layer 1 or a layer 2. So for especially for the EVM ecosystem, I think layer 1's emerged as a great solution for scalability, right? But there are other use cases that can be achieved with that, and perhaps even outside of the EVM ecosystem. So when we talk about scalability, L2s, for example, on Ton, it could be the case for others as well. Is not something that is really necessary, right? So let's also use maybe Solana as an example. It just doesn't make any sense. However, if you're looking to build like a layer with bridges that can connect maybe Solana or Ton with EVM chains, then that's where L2 starts to make more sense. So yeah, all in all, I would like sum up with use cases and what you're looking to achieve. Yeah.
I mean, just to expand,
Thank
just
you.
to expand on that a little bit. I mean, we've seen over the last 12 months, the huge rise in mem coins. And actually, in that particular use case, the only real goal is the most amount of mind share as possible. So as long as kind of the underlying technology, works, the rest of it's all around, being in an environment which is fruitful with lots of, users and a vibrant marketplace. Whereas, somebody that actually wants to dive into real utility, they have to start thinking more about the technical availability.
I see. Thank you guys for sharing your own point of view and everything. I believe when it always comes to layer 1, layer 2 of dynamics and everything, the debates and then the scalability and the questions will always be never ending. That's why I believe everybody is here, to build up for a better future for everyone, right? So okay, I hope the audience is satisfied with the answer, or gain some insightful understanding towards layer 2 versus layer 1's dynamics, and help them to make some good decision if they are investing or even in fact incubating any projects on the chain itself. So without further ado, why not we go to the next question, which will be, let me see. Oh, what a it's a very, very, very nice question. Real world assets, right? Real assets are increasingly seen as a bridge for traditional users entering the blockchain space. How does your project's approach RWA integration, and what role do you see it playing in the next wave of adoption? Anyone wants to take the start first? If not, I'll just direct someone actually.
I will take a ride on what Larry Flink from BlackRock mentioned a while ago, when he said that everything would be tokenized in the future. So when you have someone with that deep knowledge on the market, and not just in terms of market trends, but like market infrastructure and how things works and how blockchain can pave the way for more efficiency. I think it's really something you would need to consider carefully, and I would attach myself to this point, like the level of efficiency that blockchain can promote to the traditional financial market it's unseen, right? There was no other point in the history that you would see such a technology that could bring this much more efficiency to a huge market, to a very relevant market in today's lives. And a key point here, which I think it's worth noting, is that it doesn't mean that RWAs will maybe trade like Bitcoin, like maybe as when we talk about Web3, we talk about decentralization. Perhaps that's the core thing when it comes that comes to our minds, right? But if we really see the TradFi market shifting towards blockchain, it doesn't mean that we will be bringing decentralization to TradFi. It means that we'll have more efficiency, more capital efficiency, more technology efficiency. Maybe we will see trade settling, and I think this is a big thing. Trade settling 24/7. That will be core, but it doesn't mean that it will be a decentralized and open for everyone. It will still be a very gated and compliant and a KYC thing, right? So yeah, I think those are some of the things to keep in mind when we think about RWAs, but certainly a huge trend when it comes to tokenization. I think it will hit the market really soon.
Thank you so much, Victor, for sharing. So, Michael, will you, share your point of view as well, or is there anything you want to debate towards like what Victor just said?
Yeah, I mean, this is this is when I first ever got into crypto. I was kind of thinking about RWAs before RWAs became kind of a narrative or a real thing in the industry. I mean, if we go back to some of the basic needs that we have as humans, and one of those, housing, for example. I don't know what it's like for you guys, but when you buy a property, a residential property in the UK, it just takes such a long time. It's such an old and archaic system. Things get lost all of the time. You can be waiting a huge amount of time, and then because there's it's a chain reaction of people, it's really, really difficult. And I actually believe that longer term, real estate will be on chain. And when you have government-led land registries for registering titles, that stuff is, although it's come a long way from where it was, it's still so difficult. And the introduction of something like blockchain could actually change that space to be super fast and really efficient. And absolutely, as I said before, it's the efficiency side of things that's the biggest benefit that can be brought to the fore for the real world asset space. I think the reason that we haven't seen so many RWA projects come forward is because from a regulatory standpoint, they're so challenging, especially when you're trying to do stuff that's cross-border. Because if they're real world assets, you have to be able to be amenable to the jurisdictions that these assets are in. We've actually got an RWA real estate project inside AirDAO, and it took them years to get to the point where they were regulatory compliant. And they're in the real estate space. They're bringing forward real estate development, which is great, and the products. Giving regular people access to real estate development at high yields. But even then, when they have their project tokens, because of the regulatory issues, they then can't be traded on the secondary market. So I'm super excited to see where the RWA market goes. I just think it's going to mature at a much slower pace than some of the other narratives in the industry.
Thank you, Michael. I think likewise, I kind of agree both what Victor and Michael said. Really, in general terms wise, right? RWA market itself is definitely going to be something in the long-term future. The growth is going to definitely be slow, but personally, I myself do feel that it's a necessity inside the blockchain industry as well, whereas it does help in the speeds of everything and assisting everyone in certain ways and such, right? So thank you so much, Victor and Michael, for sharing your point of view. Even I myself have learned something a little from you guys as well. So could we move on to the next question? What would it be? Okay. Oh, another deep question. Blockchain's role in AI innovations. We were talking about RWA previously, and now we're talking about AI, which is going to be a big topic. So AI projects are rapidly emerging. How do you see blockchain technology empowering AI innovation, and what part of your ecosystem specifically addresses AI-related challenges? So we had Michael to end off just now. Victor, why not you take the stats?
Absolutely. So there are roughly two verticals that on the blockchain space that empowers AI. One is software and the other is hardware. I would comment on the more on the hardware side because that's what gets most of my interest. One major challenge for the growth of AI is definitely computing power. And the role, especially from the contribution that Bitcoin miners have been providing to AI is really interesting. So this blend of having a power computing capacity that would allow miners to shift in between like mining Bitcoin and also providing computing capacity to AI processing training models. I think this is really interesting and something that really brings more efficiency to both of those worlds, right? So that's I think I would also attach myself to this angle. And I think it's just really interesting on how you really start to um, 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 uh, more or less take a ride on an existing sort of infrastructure that it sometimes can be not so profitable for a certain vertical, and you can just like switch to to process something else and something that can be really rewarding financially speaking as AI at this point.
Thank you, Victor. Thank you, Victor. What about you, Michael? What's your point of view on this? Right? Is there anything that you want to share more?
Yeah, sure. I mean, AI is, it's a rabbit hole, right? AI can, enable the world in so many different ways, and obviously the major concern is that it's going to go far beyond that and come back and kill us all. But I think from me in the blockchain space, it's always been when I first got into blockchain, we didn't get hype over some of the ridiculous stuff that we get hype over now. People were hyped over the complexities of a white paper and would spend hours there trying to find some golden nuggets in there. And blockchain's kind of moved away from that because people's attention spans has reduced significantly. But if you look at the number of tokens that we have on the market now, comparing back to 2017, it's grown exponentially. And some of that is due to the fact that we now have access to AI, which allows very normal individuals to be able to build products and take advantage of the industry because they can rely on AI to kind of support them with the technical elements. I mean, they said many years ago that if people were going to pick a career, they should pick a career in coding. Well, the reality is that AI can now actually do most of the coding. So now do people pick a career in AI? I don't know, but it just shows how fast paced this market is. But AI and blockchain are so symbiotic. I think it would be ludicrous to say that they wouldn't coexist in a very big way in our future, to the point that it will get I think AI will allow us to use blockchain without even realizing that we're using it. And that goes back to the point around, you know, long-term adoption of crypto and onboarding normies. I think AI is going to play a big part in that.
I see, I see. You know, after you mentioned, you know, AI, you know, taking over and everything, it did not really came into my mind to actually think about that. After, you know, hearing from you, it's actually very insightful and everything. So thank you so much, Victor, and you know, Michael, for your insightful knowledge in terms of AI. Yes, it's been a very complex topic about it, and then it's definitely something like RWA AI is always something that people always want to listen and hear about. So it's always one of the biggest topic to talk, right? What's going on. Okay, so while we are waiting for the you know the next question, I believe is the last or the second last question. We will just wait for it to go on. But maybe like just a very random question while we are waiting for things, so not to keep the you know the users or the people that are watching the audiences to actually abroad. So to actually one of the common question people usually ask, especially for Airdal, and especially Dawn itself. What's one key development or milestone from a project that our audience should watch out for in the next 12 months?
Michael, feel free to go ahead.
So sorry, James, I didn't quite get the question.
Okay, so I mean, like, it's just a very random question from my side. So, like, what's one key development or milestone from a project that our audience should watch out for in the next 12 months?
Aha, right. Okay. So we've actually we've actually just put forward a proposal to our community for our roadmap in 2025. So there's some pretty big things in there. We're now at a point where we have some of the more basic pieces of infrastructure that you would need, a DEX, a bridge, a basic wallet in our ecosystem. But this year we're now very much looking to capitalize on the attention economy. So one of the things that we're developing is effectively a Pokemon Go on AirDAO for users to actually go out into the real world and do some fun stuff. So I'm particularly excited about that. I think if we can pull it off, I think it's I think it's going to be super interesting to watch out for.
Pokemon Go, in fact, Pokemon Go took a storm, I think, let's say about 5 years back, was it, or was it longer than that?
Yeah, I think you're letting the years run away with you, James.
Been so busy, man.
Alright, so
What about Victor for time? So sorry, cut you.
sorry
Michael.
guys.
Is there any
Yeah,
more you
I'm
want to
so
share?
sorry. I'm having issues with the because we did bought the plan for the Zoom, but for some reason it wasn't being upgraded. So that's why we still have around 5 minutes left. But is it okay if we join another Zoom session while we just sorry, my apologies. I'll just send you guys a new room. Is it okay for you guys to join the room? Because
Yep.
Sure,
yeah,
absolutely.
my apologies.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have
All
no
good
idea
with
what's
me.
going on with the Zoom session, but yeah, give me a sec. We'll be back, guys. We'll be back.
Yeah, all right.
Program's running behind. It's yeah. We are so sorry about the wait. So now, James, yeah, you may take over with our last question.
Likewise, so sorry to our audience. A long await again. We're actually at our last question. So really thankful for those that stayed. So basically, I think when it comes to the last question, we are going to be talking about the future blockchain collaborations, right? So as the blockchain space grows more interconnected, do you foresee increased collaborations between different projects and ecosystem? How can initiatives between layer 1 and layer 2 blockchains strengthen the industry overall? So it's one of another topics again. Michael, do you want to start it off?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know in this industry we do say it quite a lot, but I do believe that collaboration longer term is absolutely key. I mean, for example, when you look at various L1s on the market, it's it shouldn't be Solana versus Ethereum or Ethereum versus Sui or whatever it may be, because each of these projects have their own communities and their own USPs. But when you kind of bring that all together, actually longer term, I think that's how we're going to survive in this space. So I think we will see longer term potentially some almost M&A activity in the blockchain industry where bigger projects will begin to merge. We see a lot of M&A activity in the TradFi world. I think we're going to see that replicated in the blockchain space. And the reason that M&A will work rather than people building from the ground up is because it's quicker, easier, cheaper, and it's also you're onboarding projects that have already, they already have the product market fit. So I don't think we survive if we don't collaborate longer term. I think the industry's still trying to find their feet in terms of like grant programs. We've seen a huge amount of change in the way that that's done. I mean, for example, if you look back at Near and what they did, they spent a lot of money without a huge amount of output. Now we're starting to see, grants coming forward where it's ex ante. People have to do the work first, payment later. So I'm interested to see how that's done. For us at AirDAO, we already have bridges into the Binance Smart Chain ecosystem and the Ethereum ecosystem. I would be very surprised if TON isn't added to that list, because there's absolutely advantages to collaborate with other ecosystems.
Agree. I look forward to one day once the collaboration starts with TON as well. So Victor, what about your take on this point?
So the role of L1s, I think it should be ultimately providing value to users. And if L1s or L2s, whatever, thinks that the only way to provide value to the users is to keep them gated within their ecosystems, it means they have completely got it wrong, right? So yeah, I see no way in the future where those ecosystems will continue to be gated and ecosystems that you cannot connect with others. So I would use a nice example of an independent team that is building on TON. They're building something that is called a TON application chain. Very much building using Polygon's CDK to connect TON with the broader EVM ecosystem. So it's not a layer 2 they're building as a canonical bridge, and that will allow basically EVM applications to connect, mainly DeFi, to connect with TON. And I think this is groundbreaking, right? Because for quite some time, we've been seeing, the issue of liquidity fragmentation is not just something that you see in between, like, EVM chains or, L1s, L2s, but also within, two different ecosystems. So you could also be making the case for, move chains with EVM chains. So yeah, I think technology has been evolving at a great pace. I think this year was really important for the maturity of those ecosystems and to understand that yes, collaboration and accessibility is key for users, and this sort of fragmentation that we have today, especially in between L1s, it's definitely one big challenge that the market is aiming to solve. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your point of view as well, Victor. I think likewise, in terms of Coinstore's point of view, collaboration is very important in the space where, having to actually expand the ecosystem, expand the network itself, and expand the utilities towards all the users, and then it's actually coming about to use like, AirDAO, TON and everything. So it's really unfortunate, that Caspar couldn't join our, this AMA, this live stream, where we celebrate Coinstore's 4th anniversary. So I believe we've come to the end of the questions. So really thank you to all amazing panelists, AirDAO and TON as well, for sharing your insights and vision. And a huge thank you to everyone tuning in from all around the world. Thank you for being a very nice audience to us. As Coinstore approaches its 4th anniversary, discussion like this remind us why we are here, to actually empower to the industry, innovation, adoption, and of course progress in the blockchain itself. So thank you all for joining us. So let's keep pushing boundaries together. All right.
Yep. So before we end this stream, personally, I myself would like to thank everyone who tuned in, and of course, thank you, Victor, and thank you, Creamers, who Mr. Michael, who joined this session. Thank you so much. Although that's thank you so much, and thank you for joining. Thank you, everyone who tuned in, and have a
Bye,
great day.
guys.
Goodbye. Thank you,
Thank you.
guys.
Thank
Goodbye.
you.